In this video, we're going to be talking about how to price Christmas lighting jobs. I'm going to give you guys the inside scoop on all the services, what the pricing should be for those services, as well as a bunch of other little things like what your minimum price should be to offer this as a service, as well as just some pricing tips and tricks for you guys. So you're going to want to make sure you stick around for the whole video for that. We are actually going to be using Quote IQ to show you guys how to price these jobs so that way you can quote from anywhere. As you guys can see, I'm in the office right now. I'm not in the office. I'm at Santa's workshop. And I'm going to run in here once we're done. Got to talk to the big guy, if you know what I'm saying. But I can quote from anywhere. So in front of Santa's workshop, a job comes in. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to quote it, what to charge for it, and how to send it out in a way that is going to make the customer want to do business with you. Now, if Christmas lighting is something that you are seriously considering adding as a service to your business, this holiday season, or just over the next couple months, as I'm making this right now, it is November 2nd. You really need to check out the Christmas Lighting Bootcamp. I'm going to actually give you a sneak peek on what is in the inside of this right now. So inside of the Christmas Lighting Bootcamp, these are all the things you're going to get. Me and Glenn actually shot this live over the course of 5 days. So you guys are going to get all the Q&As, and each section actually has a Q&A. So we have a final Q&A, all the questions that you didn't know you had that other people asked for you. You get lifetime access to this along with any updates that we do. Now, I was going to show you guys the home screen, but the home screen actually gives you access to a private Facebook group and the code to get into that Facebook group, where Glenn is going to do more live streams over the course of the next month or two, so that way he can answer any of your guys' questions. And then within each of these modules, he goes over getting started, equipment, materials. He's going to give you a custom list of everything that he recommends you guys get started with, what the costs are to getting started, and then, like I said, Q&As for every single section. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about pricing specifically, but Glenn also goes over selling strategies. He goes over add-ons, which is some of the things that we're not going to cover in today's video, and he actually shows you guys in person, kind of walking the properties, what you should be charging. So it's just excellent to have if you guys are serious about getting started with Christmas lights. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Also, we have a how to get job section, and then obviously a how to do the job section, where he's going to give you tips and tricks and all the little things that somebody who's been in the business for 4 years and that makes over 6 figures a year doing this can show you. So highly recommend you guys check out the Christmas Lighting Bootcamp. I'll leave the first link in the comment section and the description, especially if you're looking to get started with this as a service. But now let's go ahead and jump into the nitty gritty of today's video. I'm going to open up Quote IQ here. And first and foremost, I want to take you guys through the services that we're going to be offering here. So if you guys are interested in getting Quote IQ, check it out. It'll be the second link in the comment section and the description at myquoteiq.com. You're actually going to get 50% off of your subscription for the first 3 months. Now, you can send estimates, invoices, and collect payments all for free. But as you guys can see here, this analytics tool is not free, as well as the map that I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to be measuring the property with today is not free as well. So highly recommend you guys check it out. Second link in the comment section description. But let's get started with these services. So if we hop into the services here, this is going to allow us to kind of see what services we're offering, as well as what the pricing for those services looks like. So I'm going to hop in here. First and foremost is our house lights. Now, I broke house lights into a couple different categories. The first one is going to be the gutter line, because there's a couple different ways that we can offer this service. Glenn kind of teaches that ideally we want to be focusing on the gutter line. That's the main thing that we want to be selling into. But obviously, if people want to get other areas lighted, then those are things that we want to accommodate. So let's talk about the gutter line first and foremost. Now, Glenn says that we should be between $7 and $9 a linear foot on this, but he says to never be below $6. So as you guys see here, I'm going to start with $6. This is a brand new business for me that we are adding on, and I'm actually going to make this screen bigger. I apologize. This is a brand new service that we are adding on. So I want to start low, because I want to try to land as many jobs out of the gate as I can, because in the beginning, what you lack in jobs, you need to make up for with landing every single one that you get. So $6 a linear foot is what we're going to be doing here. So if you guys come here, you can select a couple different strategies for pricing: square footage, linear footage, or quantity. So we selected linear foot, and we added a little service description: lights to be hung on the house. So our first service is house lights along the gutter line, and like I said, $6 a linear foot here. The next one is going to be the peaks of the house. Now, Glenn calls this specific style like a gingerbread style. So whenever somebody wants to get all the peaks done and everything, it's kind of more gingerbread-esque. Now, I would have a couple different categories for peaks, because sometimes a lot of houses will have multiple peaks, and that's going to involve multiple measurings. However, for this one, we're just going to have one. So House lighting, peaks, $6 a linear foot, same thing, linear footage here, and then lights to be hung on the house is our service description. So we have our gutter line, we have our peaks, and then we're going to have our bushes and trees. Now, Glenn suggests that when you're quoting bushes and trees, to have your pricing somewhere based on footage. So how tall the bush or the tree is. So the taller the bush or the tree, the more you charge, the shorter it is, the less you charge. For this example, I went ahead and plugged in 7 here. We'll drop this down to 6 as well. So we're going to charge $6 per foot. So if it's a 3-foot bush, then obviously that'll be 18. 7 is a little bit easier for math's sake. So I'm actually going to plug in 7 here. Now, the good thing about Quote IQ is it's actually going to do the math for me. However, I'm going to be explaining some things. So I want the math to be easy for me. And if I think in terms of touchdowns, it's a lot easier. So service description, wrapping of the bushes and trees for Christmas lighting. And then we did a per quantity on this because I'm going to assess about how tall the trees are when I actually going to be measuring those with the measurement tool today. For anybody who didn't know, with Quote IQ, you can actually have customers self-schedule themselves. So I could click this here. I could plug in a minimum price for the service, and then I could plug in a minimum service duration. And essentially, if somebody accepted the service, they could then schedule themselves with this button right here. But I'm not going to be doing that today. Also, we have InstaQuote. If you guys haven't checked out InstaQuote, I recently made a video. The last video I made was about InstaQuote. Be sure to check out those because they are super cool and they allow you to land jobs pretty much while you're sleeping. So anyway, let's get back into this. We have house lights on the gutter line. We have house lights on the peak. And then now we have our bushes and tree lights. Glenn does something very specific, which I really like. He keeps everything simple with regards to the services that he's offering. And I just think that that's beautiful because the more complex we get with this whole thing, the harder it's going to be for us to manage. And obviously, like keeping it as simple as possible is going to make it easier to manage. So Glenn's whole philosophy when it comes to adding on Christmas lights into his business is to keep everything as simple as possible. So not a huge amount of services that we're going to be having here, but enough to make a significant amount of money. So the next one is beams and rails. And I'm going to charge this the exact same way that I'll charge the trees. So by the foot, however many feet it is, times 7. And that's how we're going to get our price. So we did a per quantity price. Beams and poles wrapped in lighting is our service description. And that is that. I think we have one more service that we're going to talk through. Yep. And that is the walkway lighting. Glenn gave a couple examples within the course on walkway lighting, how he likes to install it, things of that nature. I think walkway lighting is a good little add-on, especially for a little pathway that leads to the front door. It's nice, adds on a little extra money. So for walkway lighting, he recommends $4 per linear foot. And I just put the service description as lights along the walkway because that's what it is. And of course, we're going to select linear footage here out of our 3 different choices. And that is it. So we have house lights on the gutter line. We have house lights on the peak. We have bushes and tree lights, beams and rails. And then we also have walkway lighting. Now, in the course, Glenn actually goes over a couple more specific add-on services that you guys can add on to kind of increase that ticket price even more. But as you guys are going to see, once we go ahead and plug these in, this is actually going to be a pretty significant price increase. So let's go ahead and jump into here. As you guys can see, we got our home screen here. We're going to go ahead and jump into estimates, and we're going to create an estimate. As you guys can see, we just made one for Santa Claus. We're actually going to make a new estimate for Santa Claus. And let's go ahead and jump into it. Create new estimate. Here we go. And we're going to be doing this one for the big guy, Santa Claus. Okay, here we go. Santa Claus's information is going to auto-populate in here. And then I'm going to do one more specific thing when it comes to the estimate type. So for anybody who just sends normal estimates through your phone, that's perfectly fine and well. We actually have 3 ways that we can send estimates through Quote IQ, and that is standard estimates, options estimates, and then package estimates. For this particular case, whenever we're quoting Christmas lights, I'm going to charge it based on an options estimate because I'm actually going to quote them on everything that I can offer them. And then afterwards, I'm going to let them choose which services they want to go for. So as you guys are going to see here in just a second, you're going to be able to witness exactly what this is going to look like and how it's actually going to make us more money doing it this way, because a lot of people don't know that Christmas lighting is even a service or that it's something that people offer. So when you go, hey, what were you guys hoping to get lights on? They don't know. They don't know what to say to that because they don't know what is a traditional thing that gets lit up. So it is our job to say, these are all the things that we can light up. Please select which ones that you're interested in, and we kind of take it from there. So for this specific estimate, we're going to do an options estimate, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like here at the end. So first and foremost, we're going to do house lights on the gutter line. Now, when we click this little mapping tool here, this is actually going to take us into the map within Quote IQ. This is the house that we're going to be quoting right here. We're going to click this yellow button here, and then it's going to take us into the street view so that we can actually lay eyes on the property. So let's kind of get a zoom in here and kind of talk through exactly what we are going to be quoting. Okay, so as we mentioned before, we're going to do the gutter line. So there's a gutter here, and it comes all the way across. I don't know if there's a gutter. I'm just saying this is where we're going to do the front of the house. So there's a line here, here. This comes down this way, and then we come all the way across. So that is going to be our gutter line measurement. And then, of course, like I told you guys, you have the peaks as well. So as you guys can see, there's a peak here. You could quote across the roof line here. There's another peak on this side, and then there's a peak right here. So all we're going to do for this one is we're going to quote this peak. We're going to quote around the gutters. And then, of course, as you guys saw, there's an upsell for walkways, which we are going to quote a walkway. You guys will see once we hop into the map that there's actually a walkway here. And then we're also going to quote them on these beams here. And then we're going to see how high the quote comes out to. So I really like this tool of just being able to kind of lay eyes on the house. And this is going to help you guys kind of come up with your pricing and know what you're going to be quoting before you actually jump in and start measuring. So here we are. We're in here. Like I said, let's do the gutter line first, or where the gutters would be on the front of the house. I'm not sure if there's a better term for that. Okay, that first line was a little messed up. If you guys ever mess up on the map, it's easy. You just click the back button and it completely erases it. The beautiful thing about this is I don't have to hop into any other applications in order to get my measurements. I just can measure within one app, and then Quote IQ is going to take this measurement and then it's going to plug it in. It's going to tell me exactly what the price is based on what I entered. So as you guys can see here, this is 95 feet. It's going to take that number and multiply it times $6 a linear foot, and then we're going to get $573 just to do the lights on the front of the house. So the biggest thing to kind of keep in mind with this, you guys might be like, oh, $573.60, that sounds like such a huge price. Well, we're actually on the hook for a lot here. We're on the hook for doing a custom lighting job for them. We're not running a bunch of grain extension cords around. We're actually doing a very professional job, custom fitting these lights to this house, and Glenn puts it more eloquently than I can. But the other thing is that we are in charge of the setup. We're in charge of making sure that everything stays good over the course of time, that we have these lights up for this customer. And then if anything were to go wrong, we're actually on the hook for coming out and fixing that. And then we're also on the hook for coming back out and taking these down. So when you think about it, it's not just us going out there putting up the lights. We're actually on the hook for much more. And we're actually doing higher end service. And when you're selling this, it's something you kind of lean on the fact that this is a higher end service. This isn't something that, everybody has to have done. And in which case we're going to charge a premium price to provide a premium service for you. And just make sure that you're conveying that to the customer, the fact that you're going to be setting it up. You're going to be coming out there if anything happens, and then you're going to be breaking it down. So it's not like we're just going to set it up, take their money and run. There's a lot of other facets to this. So 573 is going to be our first price. Let's go ahead and measure out the peaks real quick. So we'll jump back in here. Like I was telling you guys, we're only going to do this one peak. However, if you wanted to do multiple peaks, you would have to create just little multiple services in here to measure out each peak, because unfortunately with linear footage measurements, we can only do one measurement. If we were doing a square footage measurement, we can do multiple. So let's go ahead and add this in real quick. Boom. $237 for that one thing. Another thing you guys could do is when you're doing the measurements, take a screenshot of that measurement. We're going to be adding this feature in, but essentially you're going to be able to put line item pictures in to your estimate. So underneath house lights for peaks, you can actually send them exactly what you measured out and where the house light for that peak is going to go, to kind of give them a visual on what it's going to look like whenever you install that. So next we have bushes and trees. As you guys saw, there's no bushes or trees. So we're going to focus on the beams and rails. So whenever we clicked through here before and we took a look, there was 4 different beams. And let's just see if we can pop back in. Let's pop back in one more time. So we'll take another look real quick. So when we come to the street view, like I said, that little yellow button, we're going to take a look. I'm estimating, and I'm not the best estimator, these could be 12 foot. I'm just going to say they look like 10 foot to me. I'm going to say 10 foot. And as we said before, we're going to do $7 a foot. At least that was the measurement for the bushes and trees. I'm going to hold that measurement true to this as well. So we're going to do 7 times 10, which is going to give us $70 a beam, times 4, which is going to be $280. So we're going to hop back out of here and come back into beams and rails, and it's going to be $280. So I'm just going to enter in a flat rate of $280. Also, we got our walkway lighting. As you guys saw, I think you saw at least, there was a little walkway here. So we're going to pop back in here. This is going to be a linear foot measurement, as we mentioned before, and linear footage. is going to be $4 a linear foot on this. Like, you guys are welcome to charge whatever you want. I'm just giving you guys the parameters that Glenn has given me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, since this is a linear foot measurement, I'm going to measure one side of this, and then I'm going to double that measurement. So just give me 2 seconds here, because essentially, if we're going to light up this walkway, we're going to light up both sides of it. So boom, that's our linear foot on one side, which is going to give us $144.80. I'm then going to double that. So I'm going to say, I could probably just plug it in here. We're going to say 70 feet, or 72 feet is 36 times 2. So 72 feet, which is going to bring it out to 288. So as you guys can see here, we have filled out all of our different services. We have the gutter line, we have the house lights, we have the bushes. There's no bushes. We have beams and rails, and we have our walkway. So we're going to click next. It's going to bring us into this next category where we can kind of get a glimpse of what this estimate is going to look like. If there was any discounts on our ad, or if we discounted for, them, getting on the schedule, we can add in a discount here. There's no discounts on this one in particular, so we're not going to put anything there. We have footers. We can add in our terms and conditions. Unfortunately, I don't have a specific terms and conditions for Christmas lighting. However, if you guys do purchase the boot camp, it gives you an option to get a specific Christmas lighting boot camp contract. I'm going to attach the customer contract for pressure washing in here just for fun, and we're going to press continue. This is then going to give us an idea of what our estimate is going to look like for the customer, and then we're going to go ahead and send it out to them. So for this particular case, I'm going to copy the link, and we're going to hop in so I can show you guys exactly what this estimate's going to look like. Okay, so once we send this to the customer, this is essentially what it's going to look like. They're going to be able to see all the different things that we have here for them. So house lights on the peaks, beams, rails, walkway. So as you guys can see, the estimate total here doesn't say anything because there is no estimate total right now. They essentially have to select the services that they want in order to see the price. So this is why I said that this is the best way to go about it, because the customer is not really going to know exactly what you're offering. So this is why we offer them everything. So let's just say that they were like, I want to do the gutter line. We're not going to worry about the peaks right now. We did want to go ahead and get the beams done, but we're not going to get the walkway lighting done. So now we're looking at an $853.60 service. They can then accept this. Whenever they do accept it, they're going to be prompted to put their information in. And so we're going to say that Santa Claus has accepted this. And then it also says by accepting that they agree to the terms and conditions. So that is essentially how you quote Christmas lighting jobs. Like I said, there are some different things that you guys can do. Glenn goes in more depth within the course, but I wanted to show you guys within Quote IQ how you can start quoting your Christmas light jobs if this is a service that you guys are looking to add on. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button for me. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below Christmas, and I'll hashtag you a real one. Check out the Christmas lighting boot camp. But until next time, hustle hard, get that money, baby. Peace.